As you can see, we have many users at this page, and we are going to get the details by clicking this button. And to tell the Next.js which path need to get rendered at build time, we need to use the Next.js getStaticPath functions. And this will statically pre-render all the paths specified by these functions. So we go to our IDs.js and which display the user details. First, we can delete this use router because we do not need this anymore, and we also delete this. Instead, we use export constant getStaticPath is equal to async, and then we are going to fetch all the users so we know which path we need to pre-build. So constant res equal to await fetch, and then we use the exact path at here. So we copy from the index.js and paste to here, and then we get the data is equal to await res.json, and then we want to at last return, and at last we want to return the path that we need to pre-build, and also we have to make the fallback as false at this moment because we do not want to have any fallback page at this stage. And then we are going to create the path, and the path has the array of objects that contain the params, and we have the ID such as 1 and then ID 2. So we are going to build this path by using this data. So we create constant path is equal to data.map user, and then we return the params ID and then user.id.toString, and then we will have the path, and then we pass this path to here, and we can shorten this by just using path because they are the same. Now after we already get the path, we can then generate the HTML page based on the ID. So you can get the ID1, ID2, and so on. So we continue. And first we delete this ID because now we do not have this ID. And after we use the getStaticPath, we have to use the getStaticProps to return the props that can pump into this component. So right after this, we type export constant and getStaticProps equal to async context, and the context is the object containing the params, and we can get the ID by using constant ID is equal to context.params.id, and then constant response is equal to await fetch, and then we go to copy this path and then add the ID, and then we get the data. Actually, this is similar to this, so we copy this and then paste to here. But now instead of using the users, we use user because we just has one user on each page. So now after we already get the user, we can pass this data to the detail components, and then we use the, and then we pass the detail card, and we will add this style later, and we also add the class name equal to container, and then under this we type h1 details, and then we have h3, and then we pass the user.firstname and also user.lastname, and at last we also pass the email, and we forget to add the / at here. So we save it, and if we click on the details again, we can see the details, the name, last name, and first name, and also the email. So if we back and go to another one, we can also get another details.